Italian art. Scholars formally designate the Renaissance as being in the early parts of the 15th century in Italy, but remember that its roots are deeper in the 14th century Italian Gothic style. The numerous city-states in Italy were growing wealthy and combative, and the competition between them expanded the scope of patronage and benefited artists. Because this period is marked by an increase in secular wealth, we see a change in the character of art. The decline in popularity of the Catholic Church during this time period allowed the artists the ability to explore non-religious or controversial artistic ideologies. Giotto's Madonna Enthroned, as seen here, depicts the stylized formula for facial features and body size in many Renaissance works. The 15th century renewed interest in classical subjects and humanist preoccupations. The result of merchant patrons such as the Medici, who provided the freedom to create without having to answer to the dictates of the church. Donatello's mark, as seen here, renewed the acquaintance with the contrapposto. If you look at St. Mark from up high, you will notice that his proportions look distorted, but look at him from the correct perspective and his proportions are harmonious. During the High Renaissance, there was an elevation of the status of artists to that of a genius. The increased competition among the artists combined with an even more intense competition with the art of the classical past. There was a desire for monumentality and grandeur, which meant that classical forms lose their sense in calm and reason. There was also a renewed interest in using art and architecture to empower the papacy in Rome, especially in regard to Pope Julius II, also known as the Warrior Pope. Here we see Leonardo da Vinci's, oh wait, that's not Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. Here we see Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. She has a calm, cool, and rational detachment. She is a good example of how nobles pay artists to create artwork for themselves or for others. Michelangelo's David, as seen here, also uses contrapposto. Although there are many other interpretations of David, Michelangelo chooses a more classical approach. Michelangelo's ceiling of the Sistine Chapel is an example of the renewed papacy. Pope Julius II commissioned for this piece to be painted on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Raphael's School of Athens has a linear perspective. You are meant to focus on the center of the art piece, which shows Plato and Aristotle. Raphael begins to copy Michelangelo's style of muscular male nudes in graceful but frantic gyrations. There are 4 reasons why the Renaissance dies. First reason is that Leonardo dies in 1519. Raphael then dies in 1520. Michelangelo then devotes himself to reject classicism. And then in 1527, Rome is sacked.